Welcome to the Popcorn Talk Network, for the online broadcast network that features movie discussion, news, and interviews. Press 1. Popcorn Talk. We talk movies. From the Popcorn Talk Network, the online broadcast network for movie talk, and the schmoes know, this is Meet the Movie Press, roundtable movie news and commentary from the industry's premier film journalists.
Happy Friday, everyone. This is Meet the Movie Press on the Popcorn Talk Network. I am Mark Reilly, otherwise known as Riley, editor-in-chief of schmoesknow.com. And how are you, sir?
I'm great. Jeff Sneider, film reporter for TheWrap.com, otherwise known as, I don't know, I don't think I have a cool
The Sneider
nickname. Yeah, that's true.
I said that randomly because everybody calls me Riley, and I like it because I'm following tradition. My grandfather and my father were all called Riley or Riles.
Amazing how that works.
It's really
Good morning, Schmoville.
Good morning out there, guys. Thanks as always for joining us here on the Popcorn Talk Network. Meet the Movie Press. You can find us on Facebook, Meet the Movie Press, on the Popcorn Talk Network, and of course on YouTube.com/Popcorn Talk Network. We are live, and I see all of your comments. Look at this. You guys are awesome. And remember to, as always, tell your friends about this wonderful show.
Spread the word. Write MTMP on like bathroom stalls.
Exactly.
Make people investigate it.
Do that. MTMP, TGIF, MTMP.
A guerrilla campaign.
Yes. And as always, iTunes. Subscribe, rate, and comment. Guys, that keeps the lights on, and we just keep rising. We love it. And thank you, as always, for tuning in. That's my spiel. I'm kicking it over to my illustrious co-host, Jeff Sneider. You have something to say.
Well, first we're gonna press send on a little story.
I like this.
And this is, the moral of this story is to trust your sources, folks.
Mm-hmm.
We got a tip the other day about this story.
Yeah.
And investigated it, and it seemed like it had checked out, and I was more than willing to hold, but couldn't really get the time of the day from the publicist, and so
interesting.
This is something I wanted to discuss. But first, let me hit send here and tweet the news.
I like this. Everybody out there, get
there
ready.
We go. The button has been hit at 9:08. And in just a second, I'll tweet it out. But yeah, well, we're not live. We're like a minute behind, right?
We're like a minute behind. I don't know on the.
All right,
chat
great.
rooms.
Well, then here's the story.
Yeah.
It seems like Agent Maria Hill from the Avengers, Cobie Smulders, has landed the female lead in Jack Reacher 2, opposite Tom Cruise.
Wow, that's pretty cool and good for her. I like to see her get. I mean, she's great in the Avengers and obviously in the Marvel U. And I'm happy to hear she's going to be rocking alongside Tom Cruise. Yes.
Yeah, that's what I hear. We hear that she's in early talks. Sorry, I had to send.
I know. I've done that too. I start looking and I'm like, oh.
I had to make sure that the email that I sent to the studio was out.
Yeah. No, that's great. So when you say that.
But she's really come up, as an actress since How I Met Your Mother, I feel like.
Yeah.
She obviously did the Avengers movies, but then there's been smaller films like Unexpected and Results. Mm-hmm. And I actually really like Results. I haven't seen Unexpected yet. Yeah. But these like kind of smart Sundance indies that kind of show her range and versatility as an actress. And I think she's also she can play tough, as she does as a member of S.H.I.E.L.D. And so she kind of fits right in. And Tom Cruise, at least in the Mission Impossible franchise, has a habit of changing up his female leads.
Yeah, he really does.
I don't think, it was what? Tandy Newton. Who was 3? Michelle Monaghan.
Oh, are you talking about Mission Impossible?
Yeah. And the last one was Rebecca Ferguson, who was really good.
Ferguson,
but who am I missing?
She was great.
Kerry Russell.
Kerry Russell, thank you. I was like, because she, spoiler alert, on a 10-year-old movie, dies at the beginning.
He's got like a type almost. I don't know. And I think Cobie Smulders fits that type, and I don't think, or at least I'm not sure that Rosamund Pike is going to be back for Jack Reacher. So looks like Cobie Smulders.
All right, Cobie. Hey.
Jack Reacher 2.
Congratulations, everybody. Everybody.
Yeah. There's only a few people to congratulate. Hey, you all worked really hard
for Cobie's part. No, congratulations to her. And if you guys want it, I thought we should get more active on Twitter with getting people to like tweet out stuff we talk about, maybe tweet.
Yeah, that would be fun. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about in relation to this scoop that
this is going to be interesting because I saw some doings yesterday on the tweet machine.
Yeah, I was kind of disappointed because I couldn't get the time of day in this from this publicist, and I'm pretty fair with people.
Yeah.
And so when I called yesterday, I was told there's nothing to talk about. And with all due respect to the publicists listening out there, I decide whether it's something to talk about or not.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're a legit trade.
If I feel like I have a story, then at least engage me and try to talk me out of it, or lie or do something. But to just ignore me, like I've been doing this for a long time. I'm at a legit publication. Like, it is your job to engage with the press. You are on a monthly retainer from your client.
There you go.
Like how it just kind of blew my mind. And I don't know why. You just give me a no comment or something. But the whole, I had the same problem. I've talked about the Michael B. Jordan situation before, I think, on this show.
Yep.
That was like, they come back and they tell you there's no story here. And as journalists, and I hope that people, the aspiring film reporters who are listening to this, don't take that for an answer. Okay, there's no story here, or there's nothing to write about or talk about. Like, you need to hold these people accountable. That's what journalism is.
Yeah, and that sounds like a smokescreen to me. I mean, right? Like, no comment means, oh,
sure. And it's like, this particular publicist today or yesterday, there's a track record sort of going back there.
Okay.
With certain clients, and that there's nothing to talk about. I seem to recall having exclusives on Paul Rudd playing Ant-Man, which was denied up and down for a long time.
Yeah.
James Corden, that may have been even my biggest scoop of my career. James Corden taking over the Late Late Show on CBS.
Oh, that's right.
That was another one where it was like, good. There's nothing to see here. Move it along. And like, again, the lesson here, guys, is to trust your sources. Still go to, give the other side a chance to respond. That was my duty, and I feel like I did it yesterday.
Yeah.
But yeah, if they're not going to play ball, don't be afraid to, throw an elbow from time to time.
Yeah.
And so that's what I'll consider this.
I like this because I don't think we do enough of, or I would say I want to do more of, like, the ins and outs of this profession. And especially I have a lot of admiration for you, my friend, for what you do, because I don't really do. I'm kind of a fan and a blogger on one side of the coin. You're on this other. And, we are setting your watch and news to the stories you break. So it kind of goes all over the internet if you break something, or Justin over at Variety, Boris over at Hollywood Reporter.
Sure, and we're all relying on these studios to, keep us in the ballgame with access or whatever it may be.
Absolutely.
So it is kind of, we're all part of the same machine. And I don't care if I'm at the bottom of the machine, I'm the most insignificant part. If there's a part broken or missing, the machine's not going to work.
Right.
Okay? And like, so to... Yeah, I just it was definitely frustrating yesterday, but I feel like every journalist sort of runs into that.
Yeah.
And things probably are sensitive. I don't know that Cobie Smulders has an official offer yet.
Right.
But I'm pretty sure she'll be there in the fall with Ed Zwick directing.
And can we just talk about Ed Zwick for a second? That's awesome. I can't wait.
Yeah, that should be interesting. Him and Tom Cruise again. And I saw, Pawn Sacrifice recently, which was good, not great, but good. And it was different. It was like, I don't know if it's like his first indie in a while.
Yeah, it seems like it. He's usually doing bigger studio pictures, like Jack Reacher too. But to go back to it, so you were told yesterday to hold on this story.
No,
nothing.
And I was more than willing to hold. That's the thing.
Oh, that's where I heard. Sorry, I was
It's like,
you
listen, hop on the phone, tell me it's early, tell me you'll protect me if anybody else calls on it, and I'll sit tight.
Okay,
and I've done this. I mean, the Spotlight movie. I sat on Tom McCarthy directing that thing for a year.
Yeah.
I mean, I can keep a secret, and I feel like, so I was not even asked to hold. It was just like, we're gonna blow you off, like you're.
And so you just broke it.
Yeah. So it's out there.
So it's out there. So it's interesting, guys.
It's getting retweeted.
Yep. If you're listening live right now. He just broke some news. He didn't get any love from the publicist. Par for the course? No. More?
No, usually people will at least engage.
There you go. Okay.
Or, answer an email. I mean, just if you can't take 2 minutes out of your day, and it's like, what else did she do for that client yesterday?
Right.
Is the New York, I get it if the New York Times is calling.
Okay.
But I don't think the New York Times is calling about Cobie Smulders. I think this was probably the only press call yesterday.
Right.
And she presumably got paid. Yeah. I just don't like it too. Like when you, as a journalist, you're trained, even though you're supposed to deal with the agents and the managers because they're the ones who actually know things. You're trained at least at the trades to like go through the proper channels and ask a publicist. And when the publicist is then just like throwing up their hands and being like, well, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
It's like this is your responsibility.
This is
Sorry.
Yeah, no, I like it, dude. I mean, I learn a lot from you and from this because, you know, I just don't understand. You talk about the bigger picture, the machine, and that we're all a part of it. You know, when you break something, I mean, I got to give credit to you and to a lot of the trades. If you break something like this, or like some of the bigger movies, or some of the, I mean, this is a huge movie. This is an event movie because it's Tom Cruise, but when you do that and break something, the conversation starts. Then people cover your story, and then people are talking about it on Twitter.
That's the thing. Like when an actress says a movie, it all starts with the trades. Mm-hmm. That is the first
That's my point, yes.
link in the train or whatever. Like,
absolutely.
You know, for the next year and a half, she's going to be talking about it in interviews. She's going to be, lining up magazine covers a year and a half from now.
Right.
Like, whatever it is. So to not respect that first link in the chain, it blows my mind.
I would argue too that Cobie needs to talk to her publicist and go, why the hell aren't you talking and engaging with this person? I want to be in the conversation.
What if this, and this is obviously, you feel sick to your stomach as a film reporter if this does happen, but honestly, it's not my problem. Mm-hmm. What if this affected that deal? Right. You know, and something happened and it fell through, or they got mad at her team. I don't know.
Right.
And it's all because you didn't take a call.
That's a damn good point.
Like, I'm sorry.
That's their job. That is their
exactly.
job. So,
and I know everyone's got a lot of calls to make in return. Mm-hmm. What frustrated me yesterday was like I called and it was like, oh, she'll call you back. She'll call you back. Hey, she's not calling back. Like,
yeah,
leave me alone.
So how many calls on average did you? No,
it was like 2 calls. Waiting
enough to be like
2 calls in an email.
Yeah, I'm getting blown off. Okay. Well, guess what?
But we'll move it along.
Yeah, it's out there now, folks. So, congratulations, Cobie, for taking Jack Reacher 2. I'm gonna assume it's a done deal because Jeff is very reliable.
I think it's pretty early. I don't think it's a done deal at all. But yeah. I think it's gonna work out. I think you can take it to the bank.
Jeremy Flores says Jeff rants go hard in the paint. That's right.
That is true. I'm
very true.
Real scrapper.
I like it.
You going to D23 this weekend?
I am not.
Oh, okay. Have you ever been?
No, I haven't.
I don't know what to expect. I'm going tomorrow.
Well, I've heard Captain America trailer, Civil War trailer, or footage. No new Star Wars stuff because EW pretty much took care of that for the next month.
What was that about?
That was crazy. There was like...
I hate how EW is like this kind of megaphone for the studios.
Yeah, they really...
get it,
I guess if we can talk about that, because you all in the live chat here, yes, the pictures are amazing. Look, Star Wars guy, I did wear my Star Wars shirt. Wow, it kind of blew the internet open.
It's too hot in here.
It's
hot in this studio,
97 million degrees in beautiful Los Angeles right now. We are getting a heat wave. That's going to be so exciting.
Gotta love August.
Yeah.
So I will be down at the Anaheim Convention Center at D23 tomorrow. I felt like, there is probably going to be some news to come out of there.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Who knows about what?
Yeah, I'm sure the big ones that everybody's looking at is Civil War and Star Wars. Now, somebody hit me up on the tweet machine asking about would they announce Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel maybe at this. I don't know.
I'd be very surprised.
Yeah, I heard, like I said, a couple of weeks ago with El Miembe, I was speculating that I heard from somebody who heard from somebody, that Emily Blunt done deal, she's Captain Marvel. They haven't done a director yet. There's no director in place yet. So I don't know. But they did announce Chadwick Boseman before a director for Black Panther, so you never know.
I would love to see an Emily Blunt as Captain Marvel, and then someone like F. Gary Gray directing Black Panther.
That'd be great.
That would be sick.
F. Gary Gray, that's interesting because Straight Outta Compton opens today.
Dude, Compton is so good.
Yeah, I'm seeing it tonight.
It honestly may be the best movie I've seen all year.
That's what I'm hearing.
But I get the criticisms. Like Devin Faraci and Amy Nicholson both wrote pretty good reviews of Compton. They were fairly mixed. Devin felt like the second half of the film gets bogged down to contracts and money and that stuff.
Okay.
So and Amy sort of wrote something similar, like it was all about the Benjamins kind of thing.
Okay.
But man, I thought that the performances that F. Gary Gray gets out of these guys, like Ice Cube's son, who had never acted before,
right?
Jason Mitchell as Eazy-E was incredible.
Yeah, I'm hearing he steals the movie.
There's an urgency to this film. I think Devin wanted more focus on the police aspect of it, but you have to understand this film was written 4 years ago, before Ferguson and a lot of these events.
Right.
The guy who plays Suge Knight's great.
Okay.
And it just feels like very alive and full of energy.
I can't wait to see it.
I really dug it.
Yeah, I can't wait to see
It was cool. Great soundtrack. Giamatti's really good as Jerry Heller.
Yeah.
It's cool.
It's so funny. Ever since that first trailer dropped, this became one of my most anticipated for the summer, even. Because I would say it's a little mixed of the summer blockbusters, the summer movies. Nobody's really talking much about like that movie. You know, that it seems like there's always one movie during the summer that kind of monopolizes the conversation.
It was Straight Outta Compton was the Rap's #1 under the radar movie of 2014.
Yeah,
I felt like in every 2014 preview where you read about Hunger Games and Bond and Star Wars, no one was talking about Compton, and I'd heard good things, even though like a few months ago I started to hear things like maybe in April that like they needed like reshoots or I don't know, but whatever happened, it doesn't matter. It came out fantastic, and it's yet another win for Universal, who's having an incredible summer.
They're having a great
It's a
summer.
great like mid-August date. Like I think it's going to play well the rest of the month. I don't know, if it'll play internationally. African American themed films usually don't.
Right. And internationally.
But I think here in this country, like this is the movie America needs right now.
Yeah, it looks great. I'm going to see it. I'm going to see the shit out of it. And so with that being said, why don't we go on to some of the big news stories that are out there?
Yes. Okay.
Kind of roping around to Star Wars again. That from a movie press standpoint, there was stories that were happening every day, and that there were these huge articles from Entertainment Weekly. I know it's hot. These huge stories from Entertainment Weekly that had like different stories that you could cover, like how they talked about Han Solo, the young Han Solo movie, how Harrison Ford broke his leg, how he was good to be back as Han Solo, the pictures, Kylo Ren, the bad guy.
It's not his real name.
It's not his real name. For me, that's the biggest, because that's story, and he's part of the Knights of Ren.
His real name's John Harrison, right?
Guys, do you get it?
That's a joke.
That's a joke. That's Star Wars. That's
Don't
Star
write
Trek.
that.
That's Star Trek joke. Because yes, that's what JJ does. It was John Harrison. I always say the funniest thing ever was when I was at CinemaCon and they showed a full-on scene from Star Trek Into Darkness, and they were still calling him John Harrison. And when the movie opens, he was Khan. It was so funny. They actually dubbed in that or whatever they did for the press. So, but anyways, back to that. Yeah, what do you think of the Star Wars news? I mean, you're not real Star Wars guy like me.
I didn't pay attention to it. I don't really care. I read a little bit of it, like especially where Lawrence Kasdan like goes back to the studio and he's like, you know what? I think I left John to do this with me.
Yeah.
Like I think I really need my son for this assignment.
I know.
Whatever. I don't care.
Guy.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
Star Wars,
great.
I now to go off
Han Solo, he's gonna be 20 years old.
Yeah, I think we're good with the Star Wars stuff for Force Awakens. I'm gonna see it. I think we don't need anything else. Let's move on. But I'm sure there are gonna be people out there that leak photos, leak spoilers, leak not casting. Well, maybe casting, but I'm talking Force Awakens and maybe some of the anthologies. It's okay. For my opinion, let's stop. Let's move on. Let's talk about other movies. I can't wait to fucking see it. That's my thing. So,
yeah.
And I think you're with me.
I think we get it. Yeah. Other interesting news this week. Tom Hardy signed on to 100 Bullets.
Yeah, we were talking.
This was not really a comic that I was that familiar with, which goes to show you that, I'm obviously not that big a comics guy. But after reading sort of what it's about, I kind of want to get into it.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about it. Yeah. I actually did some Amazon priming.
Good.
He's playing who? Agent Graves?
Yeah, I can't recall the name.
Probably a guy who shows up in these strangers' lives and he gives them a gun with untraceable ammunition and sort of points them in the direction of getting revenge. That's a really cool idea to me. Obviously, Tom Hardy was sort of looking to do another comic book movie since he was going to do Suicide Squad.
Right.
And I don't know that he needs to do another one after this. This may be enough comic book movies.
I think this is great. I mean, because it is 100 Bullets is like kind of a noir. It was like Vertigo, which is a DC Comics. I mean, that's the more edgy version of comics. And Tom Hardy is really great for this. Agent Graves, you were right. He's really, really great for this, and I'm excited because I like the darker comic book stories.
Yeah, exactly. like I'm very particular. I went to the comics store on Sunday and perused the graphic novels and whatnot. And I didn't really buy anything. It's really just because I need like a connoisseur. I need like a guru in my life telling me what to read because I have very specific taste.
Right.
I love Nemesis, and I think that there was actually news on a tracking board about that moving from Fox to possibly Warner Brothers.
Oh, really? Yeah,
Nemesis is great, and I read the Criminal series recently by Ed Brubaker. Those were amazing.
And are you a Crow guy, comics, or just the movie?
No, I read the Crow comic and everything, but no, that doesn't rank among my favorites, I would say.
This is a good one. I would recommend it if your style is darker. If you want to go mainstream, there are certain Batman comics that are great to read because they're dark, but that's Batman. But what else is out there? Squadron Supreme you might like.
Okay.
That's one that's like a spin on the Justice League. Just a little hint. Instead of like if a version of Superman landed in the backyard of a really nice family, and they go, "Oh, we're going to adopt him." There's a knock at the door. The governments are going, "No, you're not," and they take the baby and they raise him to become a weapon.
I never heard of something like that before.
That's awesome. Squadron Supreme, right there. Go for it, guys.
Okay, well, I'd love to see Criminal get its due. Criminal is pretty cool.
Yeah.
But let's move it along from comics and into some beach movies.
Oh yeah, Baywatch.
Zac Efron going to be joining The Rock in the Baywatch movie.
That's good. He's perfect for that.
It is perfect. Efron and The Rock. That's a great team.
Yeah, and Efron really...
Whether or not Seth Gordon's directing or not.
Yeah, I think it's going to be good. I mean, it's some good talent, and I know they're mentioning 21 Jump Street kind of...
I've always liked the property and thought it was perfect for a send-up. When I was at summer camp, we did a Baywatch parody called Fat Watch, and it was just, fat, hairy... Jewish lifeguards, running in slow motion with like their rolls all over the place. It's actually not bad, but clearly they went in the other direction here with the Baywatch movie. Yeah,
those are some not fat guys over there.
I'd always heard it was gonna be Bill Hader and The Rock.
Really?
Yeah. So
that's
clearly
cool.
they wanted another beefcake along, but I could see. I'm sure that there will be plenty of comic relief, and as Dwayne Johnson sort of said on Instagram or wherever it was. Wait until you see the girls we get for this. If they don't get Kate Upton, I'm going to be very disappointed in Paramount.
Yes, and I'm assuming a cameo from Pamela.
Gotta have a cameo.
There should be a no-brainer.
And Hasselhoff. Yes.
Yeah. Those are the two big ones, and Nicole Eggert, of course.
I was like, I could throw out a whole bunch of the girls that I want.
It's like I feel like we're Chandler
and
Joey
who's the kid? Was it Toby or Cobie? Is it Cobie? It was like
it was a
is it Cody? Cody? Yeah, that may be it. I don't know.
I can't remember. I never I watched maybe one Baywatch episode.
My dad loved Baywatch. I'd always come down to the den. It would be like you'd hear that music like the
I just remember one episode like Pamela Anderson was like disengaging a bomb under the pier or something, and I'm like,
that is who you would call.
That's awesome. Yeah, you get in there, Pamela Anderson. That's I'm excited for it. Zac Efron, as we proved with Neighbors, I think he's
hilarious.
Talented.
I hear Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates is going to be hilarious.
Oh yeah. That's an interesting. I like that concept, and it sounds like a good romantic kind of fun comedy.
Yeah, I'll be curious to see what the tone is. If it is like a sweet movie or like I think it's going to be pretty raunchy.
Yeah, I'm thinking
and it's going to be the girls
forgetting Sarah Marshall kind of vibe, where it's like some romance in there, but like
some heart.
Some heart. That's
heart's the word.
Heart. Oh, we need a little more
People
heart in this world.
That.
Yes, it's very true. So which I think so Neighbors was great, and then you. Yeah.
Our microphones are broken.
We didn't plan this today. Yes.
No, Zac Efron also has Dirty Grandpa or whatever the hell coming out with Robert De Niro.
Dirty Grandpa.
That'll probably be funny.
That's good.
Yeah, so he's coming back for Neighbors 2, and we reported this yesterday that Dave Franco is going to be joining him.
Exactly.
They're kind of bringing the whole band back together.
Well, I think you need to because he was great. That movie was freaking hilarious, and Franco was hilarious.
And I like the idea of a sorority now coming on the block, led by Chloe Moretz.
Oh, yeah. Okay. That's where they're going. I was wondering how they were going to do it, So, good.
I'm just, we're all just hoping to see Scooney's cock return.
Yes. That was...
his choker.
Whew, that was a good one.
Other cool news, more Paramount stuff. Man,
Yeah.
Paramount all over the news today.
Okay.
Leonardo DiCaprio and Martin Scorsese joining forces for a 6th time.
God.
On Devil in the White City, the serial killer tale, which Paramount just won at auction because I think Warner Brothers let it go.
I don't know that, but I know it takes place during the World Fair. This serial killer
H.H. Holmes
builds a hotel or motel or something to coordinate with this and lures people in. I mean, I'm in. Dude, like Scorsese and DiCaprio again.
Honestly, this is the role that I've been waiting for Leo to take on.
Yeah.
Since I started reading this shit. Okay, when I'm the first time that I started paying attention to movie news was when I read on Corona Coming Attractions that Leonardo DiCaprio was going to do American Psycho, and I started reading the vivid descriptions of this book, and I got so excited for him to do it. And of course, then it was Christian Bale, and it was like, okay, there you go. There's your first lesson in movie news, sort of back when I was 12 years old or 13 years old.
God, I love that movie.
And so I've been waiting for him to play a real sick, twisted serial killer for almost 20 fucking years.
Yeah, and the backdrop to this
is going to be really cool.
So amazing. It's period piece. It's like old America. That's like when you think of a World Fair, you think of the brawny guys with the dumbbells and the guess your weight and all that. Put a serial killer in there. Yeah, I'm in. I mean, I
kept thinking like a serial killer in the middle of Tomorrowland.
Yeah, it's kind of, well,
I don't know, but
well, I mean, do we have any doubt that this is going to be like
it'll
Oscar
be a must
caliber?
See? With Marty behind the camera.
Yeah.
I love Shutter Island. I love what the two of them did with
I love Shutter
really
Island.
dark material over at Paramount.
That's underrated. I don't know why that didn't do like gangbusters.
I read the book, and the book is brilliant.
Really?
And it's tough to pull off the ending because it's like, he had to like explain all this shit to him. Like the ending was a little clunky for Shutter Island, except the very end I loved, where you're like not sure,
Right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I was sure.
I was too. But I kind of knew it.
But some people weren't. There was also news that Blake Lively, speaking of beach movies like Baywatch.
Yes.
News that Blake Lively is going to star in Sony's movie In the Deep, which is like a gravity type movie where like she's just out in the water, she gets stranded on a buoy.
Oh yeah, and there's the
100 yards from shore or something, and there's a shark that's like preventing her from getting back to the beach. The shark just like fucks with her.
Yeah,
for 90 minutes.
I'm a shark lover. Like the movies, Shark Attacks, Shark Week, everything. I'm totally into it. So
yeah, it's been a long time since we've had a shark movie, and I think as we saw with Jurassic World, studios are really into these kind of big creature movies.
Yeah, Meg getting pretty much announced.
What do you think? What is your take on Blake Lively?
I think this could be one of those movies that if she knocks it out of the park, I mean, I don't want to necessarily say Oscar, but like
no,
I it depends on the tone. Like if she plays this crazy, not crazy, but like does some superior acting, maybe.
Sure.
I just don't know what the tone is. I mean, I just think. I don't know.
I think it's a great. It's supposed to be a pretty good role for any young actress.
Yeah.
Since she's in every frame of the movie. I really liked her in The Town. I haven't seen her in that much else. I didn't see Adeline. I didn't see the Traveling Pants movies. Watch Gossip Girl.
What was the James Franco
127 hours, right? And it has been compared to that.
Yeah, that's where I'm going with it. If there's like that kind of level of. Like you said, she's in every frame of the movie. She's gonna have to like knock it out of the park if we're gonna buy this. And I don't think there's gonna be like the shark isn't working with Jaws kind of fake looking shark, even though Jaws is my second favorite movie of all time. Yeah, I'm down. Blake Lively's great. She was phenomenal in The Town, so I'm looking forward to like seeing more. Seeing what she can do. So
there was one other casting story, and then I'll let you dictate some of the show, Mark.
No, I love this.
That piqued my interest this week.
Please.
And that was Mr. Ivan Drago, Dolph Lundgren, stepping in as the substitute for Arnold Schwarzenegger in Kindergarten Cop 2.
I can't. Did we know he was doing it? Dolph Lundgren was doing it, or was it just like because they?
It's Paramount calling. I'm sorry, Paramount. I will call you back after the show.
Now,
in a half an hour.
Paramount of the. Is this from The Scoop?
Yeah.
Live on air, everybody. This is what happens. Jeff Sneider posts a story. Paramount calls him, 20 minutes later? That's how the news goes, folks. I'm like, now I want to go on and see who's covering it. Because, hey, writers, schmoesno.com, cover this. That's funny. So... what were we talking about?
I don't no. So I'm sorry. Dolf Lundgren, Kindergarten Cop 2,
right.
guys.
How could I forget Dolf Lundgren and Kindergarten Cop?
This is kind of great. It's a direct-to-video or direct-to-DVD. There's not video anymore. Direct-to-DVD sequel.
Sure.
They're making it on the cheap. The guy who did Jarhead 2, which I bet you didn't even know existed, is directing it. Jarhead Obviously, 2. Arnold was not coming back. There was a Jarhead 2.
Yeah. Okay. So
it's kind of great.
Is it canon? Is it
canon? Not everything has a fucking canon, Mark. It's Kindergarten Cop 2.
Where's the shared universe with Kindergarten Cop 2? No, I didn't know.
Honestly,
is he just taking over for Schwarzenegger's role? That's what I know.
No. I don't think that he's playing Detective Kimball.
Okay.
No. I think he's playing probably a different FBI agent who gets in.
Oh, I have to go to kindergarten.
He has to look for like a missing chip that has it's like the Mission Impossible's knock list or whatever.
A missing chip that was implanted in a
and there's Albanian
kid.
Bad guys coming after him, and who knows?
Who's going to watch this? Are you?
You know what? I'm kind of curious. I just like little kids saying funny shit to tough cops.
Yeah, but
making them
Dolph Lundgren. I mean, he doesn't have the charm that Schwarzenegger.
No,
has.
He certainly does not.
The poor guy. They released that still, and it's like he looks 300 years old.
Listen,
and I'm
other than I didn't like the Expendables movies. Other than Rocky IV, I don't know. If there's anything I can. Linked in my mind to Dolph Lundgren. Although I did love him in this tiny little B movie called Pentathlon?
Oh, Jarhead 2, maybe. No.
Yeah, maybe it was Jarhead.
Well, that's okay. Yeah, Kindergarten Cop 2 is happening. Hopeful news break.
I just would have loved to have seen... Here's a hopeful news break. I would have loved to have seen... Who? Chris Hemsworth or Vin Diesel do that movie over at Universal? Because Universal had the rights.
Oh, so yeah. Was there talk... They were talking of rebooting it.
Was there? I don't know that there ever was any official talk, but it would have been great to see Chris Hemsworth or Vin Diesel.
Yeah, sure. Why not? Kindergarten Cop 2.
Everything Schwarzenegger's ever done should be remade by one of those two guys.
I know. Yeah.
Or The Rock.
Stay tuned, everybody, for breaking news about Kindergarten Cop 3. Back to school. That's right.
Right.
That's no. All right.
What do you want to talk about, Mark? I've hogged the time.
No, I like it when you hog the time. Obviously, with the big news on my side of the street was all the Star Wars talk. But I want to talk about Pixar real quick.
Okay.
Because you're going to D23.
Yes, I'm not going today, though. So that's our reporter, Beatrice Verhoeven. She will be there today. No relation.
No relation. Okay. I don't know what the schedule is like. Are they doing... do you know the schedule?
I think the animated films are today. We're only doing 2 panels. So, she's going today for the animation. I'm doing tomorrow morning live action. Okay, well, that makes sense because somebody 1 hour ago over at Collider, I'm going to give a shout out to Matt Goldberg over at Collider, Toy Story 4 will be a love story, which we've heard, between Woody and Bo Peep. That's cool. Bo Peep wasn't in part 3. I want to see them get it on.
You're going to be seeing some toys on toys action.
Bo Peepin'.
Oh my God! It's like it was like me and my Ken doll and Barbie doll. I didn't have a Ken doll or a Barbie doll. Okay. Anyways, the toys on toys. So Bo Peep is coming back. What do you think of Toy Story 4? Period.
You know what? No, we don't. Toy Story 3 ended pretty well. It's disappointing to see Pixar keep going back to the same well. Especially they've been doing a lot of sequels.
Especially Inside Out just comes out and just blows everyone away. It was so great. It's my favorite movie.
They have enough
right
sequels, and I don't mind doing 2s. We're doing Finding Dory.
Sure.
Is there another 2?
Monsters University.
They did Monsters, right? And
Prequel,
I'd love to see The Incredibles 2. But I don't need to get into 4s.
Yeah,
that's direct to DVD stuff.
Yeah, for me, I was like, oh my God, they're doing Toy Story 4. I love 1, 2, and 3, so there's part of me that's really excited. But now, when I hear that, I'm like, oh, and you bring in Inside Out being so good, and we have another original coming out in November with The Good Dinosaur. Yeah, they keep going to that well. Toy Story.
I'd rather see a Buzz Lightyear romance movie because he seems more like the charmer.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Well, we kind of got his
story. I know
story.
Tom Hanks is bigger than Tim Allen.
Yeah, that's true. But Buzz had his love story in part 3, you could argue. There was a little subplot with him and,
That's true.
And Jesse. So
Fair enough.
Well, Toy Story 4 is happening. We heard it's the love story. We know that Rashida Jones is writing it, right?
Ooh, okay.
Rashida Jones
And her partner, Will McCormick. Right?
Yes, Will McCormick are writing it, which I find interesting. So there's a part of me that's
Maybe we'll get some news out of D23 there. There's a part of you that I'm sorry, I interrupted.
No. There's a part of me that is so interested because of the talent behind it. The story doesn't really get me. Look, Bo Peep wasn't in.
Sure, there's
3.
more to it than than just that.
Yeah, so
I'm excited for like what comes out of like the Jungle Book,
right?
And what kind of stuff we see out of that.
You'll probably get some Jungle Book. That's what I
hope so.
Yeah,
I can't wait for that movie. It's going to be cool.
Now it's not Favreau, or is it Favreau? It is Favreau.
Johnny Fabs.
Okay, because Circus is over at Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
Okay, how is he gonna have time to do this? He's not. He hasn't even started.
That's what I was going to say. I don't even know if he's started yet.
Yeah, I don't think he started. He's too busy mocapping Star Wars.
We'll see if that happens.
Well, that's interesting. So I think with D23 being this weekend, it's every 2 years. I think everybody's looking at Marvel and Star Wars, but you guys forget that there is the Jungle Book, there is Pixar, there is Disney's slate. You got Alice in Wonderland 2 happening.
Right.
You got live action Dumbo, live action Winnie the Pooh, live action frickin' everything.
Oh, we're gonna see some Beauty and the Beast stuff too. That's gonna be cool.
I'm interested in Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah,
I think
I'm excited about that.
That's gonna be an interesting. I saw one set pick where it's just looks straight out of the movie, which the animated movie, I should say. Yeah, it is straight out of the movie. I should make that meme.
Did you see the Hateful Eight trailer this week?
Yes, I did.
What'd you think?
It's great. It's awesome.
Is it?
Yeah. You didn't like it? Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, yeah. I don't want to get killed. Everybody's like, when Tarantino drops a trailer, everybody's like, that's now my most anticipated movie of the year. Everybody sucks. And this one, I'm like, it seemed totally. There's this weird tone for me going on with it.
Yeah, I thought it looked good. I'm nervous about this movie. I'm a gigantic Tarantino fan.
Me too.
Pulp Fiction's in my Twitter bio.
Yeah.
He may be my favorite filmmaker, but
he's in my top 5.
First draft of the script, or what was purported to be the first draft, was kind of uninspired and unencouraging.
Sure.
I didn't.
As first draft goes.
Sure. I didn't love it. I'm sure the movie will be good. I don't know if it'll be an all-timer. Mm-hmm. He's really talking up to 70 millimeter, which I'm sure is going to be gorgeous. Mm-hmm. But let's also keep in mind that 75% of this movie is indoors, is in one location.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be all gorgeous vistas, Wyoming vistas and things of that.
I mean, I like the idea that it's like a Reservoir Dogs meets Django. But
and I haven't heard it described like that. That's interesting.
Yeah, because Reservoir Dogs takes place mostly in one location. Sure. And it kind of fits the same mold. You got the different people coming together that are all bounty hunters. The reason that it went weird for me was Jennifer Jason Leigh, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. She did that weird hang herself thing, and it just seemed like, is she mute? Is she crazy? I mean, I guess some people love that and want to see it. Maybe it's because I'm a little too biased that I wanted to see him go to another genre. He did the war movie with Inglourious Basterds, which I loved even more than Django Unchained. Yeah,
Bastards is a masterpiece.
It's so amazing. So I kind of wanted to see him go away from the Western and do something else. And plus, it's like, you're basically getting Django, and they were bounty hunters.
He loves that horse-drawn stagecoach kind of thing.
Yeah.
This looks like a very kind of talky chamber piece. Mm-hmm. I'm sure it'll have, the requisite violence we've all come to know and love from a Tarantino movie.
Absolutely.
And the cast is super cool, and I'm eager to see where Channing Tatum fits into things.
Oh, that's right. How are they going to do? Okay, so yeah, it just didn't. I thought it looked great. I was excited, but I wasn't as excited as everybody is for this, just because I don't know. The tone seemed a little off to me. I don't know. It was like funny and
I know it's like, and I think that comes out on Christmas, man.
Yeah.
What a day that's gonna be.
Christmas is
for a Jewish boy like me.
Yeah.
No family to hang out with.
Right.
I'm gonna just be at the movies. Oh my God, so much coming out that day.
Yeah, because The Revenant comes out that day.
The Revenant, Concussion with Will Smith, Joy with Jennifer Lawrence, Point Break, Daddy's Home with Mark Wahlberg. Like the list goes on and on. Don't forget Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Oh yeah, I can't.
With my girl Bella Thorne, who I interviewed this week.
Hey. Nice.
For this movie Big Sky. You can check out that video interview on thewrap.com. But yeah, nice. It was a pleasure having her in the office.
Very cool. Well, I wanted to talk about something that it kind of got swept under the rug halfway through when the Star Wars covers came out, or the Star Wars photos. The fallout from Josh Trank and the Fantastic Four, which absolutely bombed, as we knew it would, or as we were hearing. So then all of a sudden, everybody's reporting about Josh Trank and what went on behind the movie, behind the scenes. Now we got Josh Trank he lawyered up.
That was interesting that he hired Marty Singer.
Yes. So I just wanted your 2 cents on that. What is going on? Because I read a Hollywood Reporter piece that kind of went into that
The Hollywood Reporter has had a strange sort of obsession with this for a while.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's about, what it's really about.
And I don't want to add more fuel to the fire. I just want to discuss it because
I've just noticed that they've had like the Knives Out.
Well, that piece was like, there's lawyers now, and he did this. He did like allegedly doing some shit in the house he rented and with his wife, and then closing himself off behind the monitors. And maybe Fox was not giving him everything he wanted, but I just find it interesting.
It will be interesting to see what the fallout there is. I don't think that he's like blacklisted from the industry.
No.
I think he's too young and too talented. And
I hope I really hope he lands on his feet, because it's like, I don't like it that I feel like they're trying to pull him down. It's what it feels like. Is that there's so much hate going out there, and nobody knows.
The press loves to build people up and knock them down.
Sure, that's my problem with that. We didn't cover any of this.
That is what we do.
Yeah, it's controversial.
The fall from grace, so to speak.
Yeah, it sells papers.
Sure.
It sells the papers. Or in this world, in this landscape,
gets you clicks.
It gets you clicks, and it gets you impressions with your advertising. So
yeah, I've been actually surprised by the level of interest in the story, since it seems to be a pretty kind of like inside baseball Hollywood thing. But
I don't know enough about it. Yes,
not much surprises me anymore, I guess.
Yeah, yes, the Fantastic Four I didn't like it.
I wish this thing was like movable and I could like
just let me talk to you, friends.
Pick it up, like, guys.
Yeah. How about League of Extraordinary Gentlemen to be female centric?
Ooh, I hadn't heard that. Is that a real rumor? Who has that?
We have breaking news.
What?
15 hours ago.
15 hours.
Collider posted this. Says the producer John Davis at the TCAs.
That League, is that a movie?
Yeah, they're
why would he's talking about the movie at TCAs?
Yeah, with these producers, they're doing
sure, they can't help themselves. So League of Extraordinary Ladies, is that what it is?
Yeah. Which, look, I'm all for empowering the strong female characters, but the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, it's kind of in the source material. Like, great, throw in some really strong leads in there, but can you recreate? Let's see. Okay, so he says, just by going back to the roots and making it authentic to what the fan base was really excited about. It's female-centric, which I think is interesting. I love female characters, point-of-view characters in action movies. Look, I don't know how you're getting... Well, he said female-centric, but the movie
confused.
is... The guys were... I don't know.
I don't know either, man, because I don't really care about this project.
Yeah, it's an interesting... if you want a good comic, I mean, it's an Alan Moore comic.
That's what people say.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit.
Yeah, well,
pass.
I'm passing on it too, because like, why is it female centric? I just don't buy that. So, okay, great. What else is out there? What do you want to talk about, Mr. Sneider? What are you seeing this weekend?
Well, I don't know. I haven't made up my mind if I'm going to see Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
No.
I
haven't heard good things.
I've heard mixed things. Like, I think McWeenie gave it like a B+.
Nice.
And folks, if you're not reading Drew McWeeny, who's been a guest on this show, please do. He wrote a great piece about like watching Jaws with his sons.
I was just going to bring that up.
It was really great. He's, when he gets a chance to do that kind of shit, it's always fantastic. So
it was poetic.
Yeah, head on over to HitFix.
I'm serious. It was so great to hear it. It's all about his kids.
Yeah,
running around, jumping in pools, 10 pools before they watch Jaws, and then they're solid
like
gold reactions.
That kind of criticism and filtering movie discussion, through the lens of being a parent.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited.
Drew is obviously one of our more exceptional film writers in this community. So yeah, check that out. But so he gave it like a B+, I think, and I think he liked kind of like the breezy tone. Neither of these actors really do much for me. I'm more interested in like Vikander and Elizabeth Debicki, who were in it.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe I'll see it. Maybe I'll wait for a DVD.
Yeah. I'm with you on that. Oh, are you getting another one?
That's my brother.
Oh, okay.
Fuck that kid.
I love it. So I put out there on the live chat, everyone, that we're kind of going by the hip here, or swinging by what?
Last night I watched two horror movies. I stayed up late.
Oh yeah, I wanted to hear this. Yeah.
I watched Unfriended. Right. Which takes place entirely on a computer screen.
Okay.
And it was interesting. Like it actually was pretty relevant. Given all like the cyberbullying stuff. And it sort of tried to tell you that your past deeds will follow you, especially on social media. The pictures that you take, the videos that you take,
the tweets that you send,
the shit that you talk.
Yep.
So
it's all
that was
there.
interesting. And then the other one I watched was The Final Girl with Abigail Breslin, where like it's a little weird, but she's like been trained to become like this brutal assassin since she was like a little girl.
Okay.
And she grows up and she's told to like dispatch for teenage boys who like hunt girls in the woods.
Yeah,
they bring them out to the woods and then let them run and they hunt them. So Abigail Breslin sort of takes the bait and then turns the tables.
Yeah, that's it reminds me of a book I read back in junior high. It was like The Deadliest Game or something. It was like the hunter.
Yeah. The Zodiac's favorite book.
Yeah, that's right. So it kind of reminds me of that. And I love Abigail Breslin, so this is like
she looks cute in it too. Wes Bentley's actually kind of cool in it.
Oh, is he one of the guys?
No, he's the trainer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
And he looks like something out of Hitman, which comes out next weekend. I'm excited to see.
Yeah.
But no, I'd say the two. Okay, wait. It was Alexander Ludwig from The Hunger Games and Lone Survivor. He's like the really young guy who gives like who has to recite that like military the I don't know the SEAL speech or whatever the fuck it is.
It's like the mantra, I guess.
Right, exactly. So he was one of the kids. Cameron Bright was one of the kids. He's the one in Birth, the Nicole Kidman movie, the little boy.
Oh yeah.
All grown up.
Okay.
Very interesting.
Well, I just want to see it from the concept. I mean, it just sounds great.
Yeah, it's an interesting. Listen, it's a low budget movie. Tyler Shields shot it. He's like a famous photographer. I don't know. I thought that both were worth a rental.
Just real quick, some breaking news.
Oh shit!
The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. The main character is female.
Okay. So they changed one character.
Thank you, Roar Machine. Mark Cassidy on Twitter. He gave me the heads up. I don't remember the source material that well. I was just going off of the movie, so that's my bad. Because it was Sean Connery, which one of my favorite stories about Sean Connery is that he turned down Gandalf, turned down Morpheus, and obviously they go off to be crazy successful. So when League of Extraordinary Gentlemen comes around, he's like, "Oh, I better take this. I don't want to miss my boat." And then it sinks. It's so bad. So thanks, Roar Machine. Female-centric lead character, female, great. It felt like to me, just reading that news just from a headline perspective, seems like they're trying to jump on a bandwagon that Paul Feig started with Ghostbusters. My 2 cents. So what do we want to close with? We're kind of coming up on
we got 5 minutes left.
The last of this. I threw out there on the live chat on YouTube. Any news from the stand? People are throwing out some comments here, what they want to say. Julian Jacobs.
I haven't checked into that in a while.
Yeah.
Let me circle back on that one.
Okay. He's going to circle back. What do you guys think about Batman v Superman getting a standing ovation? This is Jasmine Crisillo. That's a rumor, and I think it's could my 2 cents easily planted by some people because it was like the Suits.
Yeah, listen, I talked to a Warner Brothers executive who said he had seen it and that, it came out great and they're really happy with it. I don't know if it got a standing ovation or not. I'd be surprised that a room full of executives would stand and clap like,
I mean,
but whatever.
If they're stockholders and they're like realizing they've got a hit, I mean,
Did they not know? This is such a surprise.
I know. Oh my God. People are going to like Batman v Superman. So the rumor goes that there was the standing ovation with some footage from Batman v Superman, and that Batman, or Ben Affleck, was so good that they scooped him up, gave him a 3-picture deal to direct Batman 3 movies, a trilogy, blah, 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 blah.
I don't know if I'd take that to the bank.
I wouldn't take it to the bank, but what added the fuel to the fire was him pushing some of his projects back.
Sure.
So, yeah. Have you heard anything?
Well, he's going to do like one movie. He's going to do one.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. These are all rumors and speculation.
It is, I forget who it was, but someone was talking about how it is a little depressing with Affleck, like kind of wholeheartedly embracing the comic book stuff. I think he's going to be playing Batman in 7 movies.
Yeah,
is that right?
If we talk three Batman movies,
Justice League
2, Suicide Squad.
I don't know if we'll see him in that much. This guy directed Argo and had a chance to direct Hollywood classics. So I think that, I don't know if he'll tire eventually of wearing the cowl.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a legit, and we didn't really get to talk about it, so maybe we want to tease it for next week, but it's the spoiler culture of... because
there's a good article on IndieWire. I would just ask that people read that, because I do think it's getting out of hand and that every little piece is getting picked over, and it's like I get some of us we got to find a way to put food on the table. And if that's your talent and that's your strength, more power to you. Finding out some of that stuff, but.
No, it was something interesting that we talked about off air, and I just opened a huge can of worms with 2 minutes left in the show. But Luke Skywalker picture was leaked online, and I'm the guy that didn't want to see it. I felt like there's a reason why Luke isn't being presented in any of the material, the teasers and the posters and everything. We've gotten Han, and that's like, in my opinion, smart, because on the business side of things, it's Harrison Ford. He's
exactly
maybe the biggest name in that movie. So of course they're going to show some Han, and he might have more nostalgia and more fans out there. Obviously he's getting his own young Han Solo movie, but to get that spoiler that just popped in my feed, like literally people were like, look, and it's weird. I didn't want to see it. I just was like, and then I saw it and it was awesome and he looked so good, but
we don't have a choice anymore of what we can see and what we can't.
So Jeff brings up a really great an article on IndieWire.
Right? Check it out. I think Kevin Yeagernoff wrote it on the playlist. And
because the spoiler culture is interesting. That's maybe something we'll talk about next week, but
maybe if we have a guest.
If we could maybe bring in somebody that has something to say about it.
In the meantime, contemplate all the fun that we're going to have at D23, that I'm going to have at D23 tomorrow. Maybe Ronda Rousey will come out as Captain Marvel.
Oh my God, wouldn't that be funny?
No, it would be funny.
It would be something
terrible choice.
Marvel wouldn't go there. And to one of my Twitter followers who tweeted me with Jessica Chastain is Miss Marvel, and brought up the blonde hair that she sported in a movie.
Ooh.
Great call. I wish maybe I can, but who knows?
All right. Well, go see Straight Outta Compton this weekend, folks.
All right, guys. So this has been Meet the Movie Press on Friday, and this is another great show. Thanks for tuning in on the live chat here. Go ahead and follow us at Riley Around and at the Sneider. And please rate and
comment, subscribe.
Do
all that good stuff.
Please, it keeps the lights on here. And go ahead and tweet us all you want and what you want to talk about for next week's show. And
I'll look into shit.
Jeff's dropping scoops over here and getting calls from Paramount in the process. So that's what we do here. I love it. So we'll see you next week, guys. And as always, visit schmozno.com and, of course, The Wrap.
TheWrap.com.
Yes, guys, and we will see you next week. Thanks for tuning in, as always.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Popcorn Talk Network or its owners or principals.